All right. Good evening. Happy Thursday evening to everybody. I hope you had a great day. While that video introduction plays, I always have butterflies in my stomach. I'm so nervous. I feel better now that it started. Thanks to everyone that's uh, has joined us this evening, and thank you to everyone that is watching this on the recording. This is episode number 4. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it with my friend Uli. I've known Uli for years. We go back into the 90s. This is going to be a blast. So yeah, let me just settle in a little bit here. I hope everybody has their uh, water or chosen beverage, or someone might be eating dinner. Um, we've already got comments coming in. So good evening, Ruben. Thank you for dropping in. Um, and just a little preview here. We will be talking a little bit about Welcome to My Brain. So at some point, um, we may have you join us, but I want to do a full episode on Welcome to My Brain. So we don't want to get too deep into the weeds, but um, we got some videos to share. So I think that'll be fun. Anyway, um, let's see. We're coming to the close of April. We're almost into May. Can you believe it? Unbelievable. Weather's starting to finally get warm, which is nice. It's been kind of cold. I was like, come on, really? Let's get warm. I'm ready for it. Who's ready for warmth? If you're ready for warmth, put it in the comments. Say, hey, I'm ready for summer. Anyway, um, let's see what we've got. I don't know if we got anything for. All righty. Hey, Faith, you got your water. Excellent. Is it room temperature? I've heard that, and this is our update for today. Room temperature is actually better for our bodies because it's easier for our digestive system to assimilate. Cold water is like a shock. So room temperature water is actually the best. So, oh, it's great that you're with us, Faith. Thank you so much. Um, So that's the update. Isn't that exciting? I look forward to these updates. I had no idea what I was going to talk about, but Faith, you were my inspiration. Um, yeah, and that was awesome. So, as hey, Victor, thanks for tuning in. So, as they say in show business, without further ado, and you know what? Someone needs to explain to me what an ado is. What's an ado? So, if you have further ado, what's more ado? If we got more ado, I don't know if I want more ado, but so we're not going to. So, without further ado, let's say hi to Uli. Hey, Uli. Oh, you're muted, brother. Hang on.
Oh yeah, no
Yeah, we
problem.
got you though. I got you,
No, you
brother.
got me. You got my back.
I got you. Always, man.
You've had my back before, so I think you can do it one more time.
Probably more than once. We
Yes,
had some interesting experiences back in the
definitely.
day, didn't we?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, so how was your day today?
Well, I was had actually a good day, but I was very busy at my work, just working away. That what I do. I'm an engineer, but during daytime.
Okay.
And yeah, I was very busy because the whole semiconductor business and microchips and stuff. That's what
Oh
I
yeah.
do. And so anyway, that's the background story. But I had some time to enjoy a little bit the sun out there for a moment and take my dog out.
So you're getting
Oh
some
yeah,
some
hey dude,
compliments on your
yeah
hair
yeah,
there.
I
Hey,
appreciate
I don't
it.
know about if the folks that are listening, but for me, Uli, your sound's a little low.
Okay, absolutely, yeah,
So, but y'all let it because we can't really tell what our sound sounds like to y'all. So,
absolutely,
getting a little bit of feedback is always helpful.
absolutely. Let me
Yeah.
know.
So, I was chatting with you the other day because I think when we first met, you'd come to the U.S. to go to school at UC Davis, right?
That's true. Yes.
And we were going out, we were listening to music and all that stuff, but I never thought of you as a musical type of a person or as an artist or anything like that. You were more studious and you're smart.
Well, I don't.
But so
I think actually people that are musical. I mean, my experience has been that people that are musical, which I'm not claiming that I am as musical as some other people, um, but they usually are pretty good at math. You know, that's usually what I've noticed. It's
musical
really
people are pretty good at math.
I've noticed that people are good at music or are left-handed. This might be all just me
Are you
turning QAnon on you or anything like that. So,
so are you left-handed?
no, I'm not actually.
Then,
That's
then
why I'm
that
not
will.
smart.
All right. Well, that didn't work then, did it? Hey,
No,
Cheryl. Hope you're having a good evening, Cheryl. And Victor says, very impressive to be able to come to another country and compete in the skilled workforce. I don't think I could flip burgers in Germany. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's my parents. I actually, my mom is from a brewery family, from a very small brewery, like microbrewery. My dad his dad actually literally worked at a coal mine, and my dad actually started out working at a steel factory before, and he eventually, of course, he met my mom and he moved to the countryside, and he was part of the business, but he actually was in the military. He was a professional soldier. So the background matters a little bit for me. Maybe I don't really have that. You know, a lot of people that have like already parents that went and became lawyers, then you're more likely to become a lawyer. I think there's some truth to that, and you also get the education. But um, yeah, and to some extent I didn't have that. But you know, my dad always wanted me to become an engineer, and I actually like things that mechanical. So I really enjoyed it and love that, and so that's why I always is interested in that. But the music side always interested me too, and that's why I think I also like the synthesizers, and and that's really where it's at for me. But I don't claim to be extremely musical in that sense of classically trained.
well, no, it's a different. It's yeah, music has all different forms, right?
Music
All different
is for
forms.
everyone.
And some of the characters that you've created for your show, Welcome to My Brain, were actually came to you while you were at UC Davis.
That's very true.
Yeah,
I That's very true.
yeah.
Um, I actually I had a Japanese professor that was my what you call it, doctor father. I don't know if that's, but he was my PhD advisor, main advisor, and his name was Kazuo Yamazaki. He's still alive, and he's at UC Berkeley these days. As I don't know if he's actually still teaching, frankly, but he was my teacher, and I noticed always that sometimes he talked to me and he fell asleep while he was talking to me. He had some sleep apnea issue. Also, I think it had to do with staying up all night and all kinds of things like that. But at the end of the day, um, the long story is, yeah, I guess I get bored with him once in a while, and I started making drawings of him, of the professor, and I did it in the classes, and I get entertained, and anyway, but that's a little too story.
Yeah. And did you bring some of those pictures for us to see?
Absolutely. Maybe the story background a little bit more is here. Let me get into actually. Let me get to the professor first.
Okay, well,
So
before we do that, let me just share this little comment because Victor
go
was
for it.
making a comment about soldiers in Germany. And he says their soldiers are supposed to be highly trained, not just regular troops. So I know in some countries there's like a mandatory service of some, whether it's civilian or military, it's mandatory service. Does Germany have that?
They don't have it anymore, but I did have my. I went and I did have the mandatory military service. So
Uh huh.
I was for 18 months. I was a soldier. I was a what they call pioneers, which is essentially explosives soldier.
Hmm.
And so I was working on explosives and landmines, and finding landmines and making the maps where you put the mines. I mean, this is all training, but I blew a few of them up. Um, but I
um,
did, and I don't enjoy. I wasn't probably would have been not a very good soldier, because I still remember I was one night with my friend or my colleague, and actually we went to high school together. That was totally coincidence that we ended up at the same group, or whatever, platoon or whatever you call it. And we went and we had to walk the grounds of the base, and with the guns loaded and everything. And we shared.
Oh,
I still remember
wow.
he took one ear of the headphone, the ones with the wires, and I took
Yeah.
the other one, and we walked really close together so we could listen to the headphones. And
Unbelievable.
and then we found some warm tanks, and we like that were still warm, and we laid there by the motors a little bit when it was in the winter.
Okay.
So I don't think I would have been been that good, but yeah,
Wow.
I did learn how to shoot a rocket propelled grenade, so
Oh
throw
my
some
gosh.
grenades, but I don't want to kill anyone. It's not
Well,
something that I
that's probably a good thing.
yeah.
And before we go a whole lot further, I heard through the StreamYard community, which is where I'm doing this through StreamYard, is that there's problems with sharing the stream through the Facebook group. So if you're watching it through a Facebook group, it may cut out. And I'm just going to run this at the bottom here. So if it cuts out, you can always jump over to the YouTube channel and continue watching. So I'll just leave this running at the bottom here while we can continue talking.
Wow, you're so considerate, Chris. I really like the way you've set up your show. I mean, I think you've put a nice effort into it. I got to give you some compliments there. You did a nice job with the
Well,
lighting,
thank
and
you.
you know.
I'm such a newbie at all this, I appreciate that because I look at people like yourself and Ruben as a little bit more experienced and skilled with the technical aspects of things. So I appreciate that a lot. Thank you, my friend.
But in the end, it's about content. I think when you have something with your either with people that you don't know, or people that you know, and you interact with them, and so I think obviously if the technology works, and it's not all messed up, which I definitely felt more than once before, it's you can still, it's all about the content in the end,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
the conversation or whatever you have.
So what kind of pictures have you brought to show us?
Well, let's go to the professor, right? My professor that I told you
Okay,
about,
let's do it.
Kazuo Yamazaki. Okay, he definitely
Okay.
doesn't look like that. There he is.
Here,
And
let me
I
take
am
this
an
thing off of
immigrant.
here.
So this is from 2001. It was okay to say fat immigrant then, okay? But I am an immigrant, so I guess I could say that. Yes. And I was
Ouch.
I was working on lasers, not at the time as much, but I was working on those light sources, and so I used the laser, and that was the Big Y. Yamazaki was his last name,
I
and
see the big
so I called
Y.
him Big Y.
That's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
he pissed me off many times, but also I have to be thankful to him.
Now, see, this isn't the professor that actually got you into into UC Davis, is it?
He was my doctor father. Yeah, and I did my dissertation with him
Yeah,
in
yeah.
his lab.
Hey,
Um,
so we have another little aside here from Victor. In the world of what ifs, I thought about immigrating to Sweden. I don't think I could get down German Swedish. The more informed say it's very difficult to learn. When I was in high school, it was mandatory that we take a foreign language, and my mom thought that German was more manly than Spanish. So she had me take German, and I think I had to do 2 years, and my first year I think I got a D, and then my second year of German I got an F. So I decided that wasn't the language for me. However, I made a trip to Germany back in the 90s, and with a dictionary and a little bit of understanding and a phrase book, right?
yeah,
Being immersed in that language. I mean, I was in the eastern part of Germany. There were very few English speakers.
yeah, I know. That still isn't that
Yeah,
much.
and it really helped me learn the language. But one of the things that I discovered, especially with the young people there, nobody wanted to talk German. Everybody wanted to practice their English.
That makes sense, right?
So I was frustrated because it's like, I want to speak German. And they're like, we want to speak English. And they're like, what? Anyway,
Yeah. I remember that time you actually met my mom too. But that's a whole different story.
out in that country home. Yeah, that was very special. Yeah, that was very special. Victor said, at least you got to use it in life. Well, use it use that word loosely. Um, you learn how to order beer. You need to, you know how to ask for directions and say
Uh,
please and be
you got the
polite
beer, so
and
that's
nice.
cool.
And as long as I got beer, I was happy. Exactly. 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 So what are some of the others? So some of the characters, now Freddie Carrot, was that someone that came to you while you were at UC Davis?
Um,
Did you create him when you were there?
yes, I did. Let me go back to Victor for a second. Is it okay?
Sure.
So I mean, Victor, you were saying you thought about immigrating to Sweden. I'm just wondering. Um, I'm just wondering why you were thinking. Oh, that's really funny. I just see the comment here. I've been watching too much Rick Steves, and I have watched I think too much of it too myself. But he does a pretty good job,
Who
especially
is Rick
like
Steves?
he's the guy from NPR, and
Okay.
he does all the traveling to Europe. I
Oh,
mean, he
does he
doesn't do it
really?
right now, obviously, but
Oh, that's hysterical.
yes, and he does really good stuff about Italy and France. So I got your point. Okay, cool. No, getting back to the story back when I was in college, and yes, I came up with Freddie back then. It was around the same time. Um, there he is, the OG Freddie. Um, that
He
was
looks
so
angry.
yeah, well, yeah, that's what I get a lot because I got that back then a lot because he had those teeth, and I first had the teeth on, and I think Ruben was making some comments, and I kind of toned him down to where he looks more friendly, right? I think he looks a lot better now than he looked then.
Well, and we're going to get later on, we're going to get a video of Freddie. So we'll see him in his current iteration. It'll be fun to see.
Absolutely.
Cool. And what about and now and Derek, was Derek a product of your college days also?
Yeah, so I mean the big character which was really Joe, which is now essentially Ul. Let's
Oh,
go to him
oh
first.
yeah, for Welcome to
He
My Brain.
Yeah, he was there. That's the original drawing, and it's funny because this is the writing block that I used at Wells, like some type of company that where I got the free paper from. So it's kind of funny. And then I went and I this is actually done a really long time ago. Around the same time, a little later, I colored that one out because I had this big dream of making this puppet show and making this animated show. Um and really what it really was is because I realized then that I really just I don't want to just make music. I want to do something like this, but I realized it's so hard to do with the technology. It was just too hard for
Back
me to,
then, yeah.
and it was in, starting a job and getting married, doing all these things all at the same time. It was just too much. I couldn't do it.
Who has time for cartoons?
Yeah, well, yeah, I tried, but I really tried to learn After Effects, which is a Adobe program, but that was really it's
Oh,
still
okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, but anyway, but now there's easier ways to do it. And it's just more powerful now. And so I came up with yeah. So Joe was one of the original characters, and then of course, Derek, that's him, OG.
Now is Derek so when I first saw Derek on Welcome to My Brain with the tail, right?
Hmm.
I'm thinking, is he a dinosaur?
Dude, that's the big question. How did he come about?
Where'd that tail
I
come
dare
from?
you to think he's just a dinosaur. I dare you. No.
Maybe he is a humanosaur.
Well, I think that's to be explored throughout Champagne Music Box.
I
What he
think
really is.
so. I think so. And
Because
we're going to get to that Champagne
there's a
Music
dark,
Box.
dark story and about his life. And but I can tell you that he has some. He must have been in Germany before because this outfit here looks like Lederhosen to me to some
It
extent.
does look like Lederhosen. That's what I thought it was, actually.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It
So
is
I don't know where
Lederhosen.
that's coming from. There's some Germanic
No,
thing in there.
it's coming from your subconscious somewhere, brother.
Yeah, I know.
Ruben
Oh yeah.
says he does have a bit of an attitude. He must be talking about Freddie.
Well, he must be talking about Derek because Derek has an attitude too.
You know what? I think they all have attitudes.
Yeah, they do. I don't
Even
know why.
even Joe. Is it Joe?
Yeah, it's Joe, but it's really Ul. So it's all
Ul?
good. Yeah, it's really. I,
Ul?
I like calling him Joe because I don't like to talk about myself. Like that's kind of weird. It's just not,
Especially when it's not you,
well,
right?
yeah, exactly. There you go.
Oh, he
It's
says
the
Derek. So
alter.
Derek has an attitude.
Yeah, he definitely does.
He's got no pupils either. We'll see him. We'll see. And we've got a video of Derek also.
Yes, and maybe I'll show the crew actually as it looks today.
Right on. So yeah, from left to right, we got Ul. And so does the little martial artist have a character name?
Yeah, it's Ruben,
Rue. That's Ruben. And then Derek, of course. And what's his
Freddy.
name? Freddie.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some other characters over time, but you know, I think it's just fun to develop this over time because it's been a little bit my dream
Mm-hmm.
to do that, and of course, I think at this point in my life, I like to have a little bit more of a measured approach of enjoying my life. I used to be this guy that stays up until 6 in the morning working on his computer and
Oh, Lord
trying to
have
do this and
mercy.
that. And at some point, it's like also want to have other things. So I take a measured approach of not trying to do everything at once.
Sure. Sure.
Um,
And you've got someone that you need to pay attention to.
exactly. Yes, I am married to my wife
Yes.
Amber. I'm going to be married for 20 years on
Get
in
out of
May
here. You're
this year.
not, I can't believe so much time has passed.
Oh my God. You
That's
know this
crazy,
guy?
huh?
Hey, do you know this guy?
Oh, let me pull him up here. Hang on. He looks really familiar. Yeah, that
Uh,
was you. That was you when we were housemates.
I know, that's so hilarious. And you know, this is the typewriter I was talking about. I don't know if that you can call this a computer. What is this thing that we
It's
work
like it's a proto computer. It's like it's a word processor.
that's the thing I was referring to one time. I'm just wondering what happened to that one. Obviously, I don't have it anymore. But there was this guy that that was there writing and I forgot his name. But anyway, I got to use it and write some stuff on it. So that was cool.
That is cool.
This is I think in 1995 or something.
Somewhere in there. Uh-huh.
Or
Yeah.
yeah, but anyway, so
That
we're
was
up
when
there.
I think that was when we were living up on was it F Street?
F in Sacramento. I think we
Yeah.
were living. Yes, we
Oh,
were like in D Street. I think it
D.
was
It was D Street. Yeah, it was D
in
Street.
D, bro.
Yeah, D Street. Where you had to go up the stairs to get into the bathroom.
I know. It was good. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't too bad.
It was a fun little place,
Yeah.
you
I thought
know.
you went moved back in the area at one point, but not sure.
I'm on G Street now. So I'm only and then I lived on F Street for a little while. So I've been in Alkali Flat off and on.
It's convenient.
I think so. And since I don't own a car, I find it extremely convenient, right?
Yeah, and then what do you do if you do you ever drive anywhere
Well, back
or
in
do
the
you take the
day,
train or what
yeah.
do you
So
do?
I would go down to Enterprise, rent a car if I needed to go out of town.
Smart.
It was in town if it was too far for me to walk. And there's that old saying, no place is too far to walk if you have the time. So if I
Yes.
had the time and I had the energy, I would just walk, right? I don't mind walking for an hour or so to get somewhere. But if it was really far and I was tired or it was hot, there's the light rail and then there's the bus. When COVID hit, I said, I'm not doing public transit. No,
Yeah,
thank
same.
you. I don't want to be enclosed, right? I don't mind open air, but and so now I've ridden the light rail a couple of times. I'm fully vaccinated. I feel better about it, but I can get off whenever I want to. And it's not, I don't feel as enclosed as I would inside of a bus, but that'll come back too as time comes on. But yeah, I've got a valid driver's license and that may be a dangerous thing. I don't know. But if I ever wanted to, and if I needed to go somewhere and I want to take the train, I love Amtrak. I think it's a wonderful way to get around.
I love it too.
Um,
I worked in Silicon Valley. I mean, I still work in Silicon Valley theoretically, but I haven't been at my job in a year. And I used to take the train 3 times a week from downtown Berkeley. I mean Berkeley train station, Amtrak
mhm.
station, to Santa Clara, which is right by the Raiders Stadium. No Raiders. Oh my God, that's the worst. The 49ers Stadium, and you get right out there. And then I rode my bike because you can bring the bike on Amtrak, and I rode my bike to work, and then I did the same thing back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you get the sports team wrong, you can sustain bodily injury at some point.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a good exercise too to get a little ride in, you know.
Absolutely. No,
I just don't like the
absolutely.
commute every day because you get so tired when you then commute and you're at the job. But it's better than
Right.
driving your car.
And if you're on the train and you do have to do some work, you can because you just have to pay attention to the station so you don't miss yours, right?
I have missed my station before.
Yeah, I have to. It's a bummer.
And then I had to get off and ride. I tried to ride Bart back on the outer rail in Richmond.
Yeah.
So I've had that. One time I left my computer on the train,
No.
and I because yeah, and I already knew the conductors because I was on there so many times.
Okay.
So that one of the conductors, which I'm very thankful for, he turned it in Sacramento because they don't talk to the running train for security reasons. They told me, I don't know what
Really?
that means. This is ridiculous. But so yeah, I drove to Sacramento that night and I got my computer back, and I'm really thankful because I just started my job and I didn't want to lose a company computer, obviously.
Yeah, they might have been a little bit upset about that.
They'll get over it, but it's about security, you know.
Well, yeah, because yeah, yeah,
Anyway,
crazy stuff. Crazy
crazy
stuff.
shit.
Hey, so we're going to take a look at some clips of video. I think, do you want to start with Derek or do you want to start with Freddie?
Let's get Freddie because he always talks shit about Derek, I heard.
You know, so for those who are interested, there's a bit of a rivalry going on at Welcome to My Brain between Derek and Freddie. Freddie was interviewed, Ruben interviewed Freddie last night, and next week he's going to interview
Ruben. He's going to interview Freddie.
Freddie. Right. So Derek was first. Now it's going to be Freddie. At least that's the rumor, right?
Absolutely.
Um, and then we'll see what's going on between those two guys, right?
I got a
I'm just
couple of
looking.
comments before we go there.
I'm just looking. Yeah, I'm just looking at the comments right now. So let's see. Victor says, when I was a functional member of society, and that's a whole story there, I'm sure. I was just too busy with 60-hour work weeks, 60 hours, to experiment with any other type of transportation. 60-hour weeks at my 20s. 60-hour work. I can't even, I don't think I've ever worked at a job that was a 60-hour work week. When I worked for UPS as a driver, I put in a lot of overtime, but I don't think it ever amounted to 60 hours. That's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. And then he says, now I want to try doing the bike to work in the future as part of my health kicks. Yeah, my daughter gave me a bicycle for Father's Day a couple of years ago. During the lockdown, I didn't ride my bicycle, but now that it's nice out, I started riding it again just to get back into shape. So, Victor, I would encourage you, maybe in the morning or in the evening, go out for around the block, and just get your legs back in shape. And
Yeah.
it's great exercise. It's good for
Actually,
you.
during the lockdown, I got both a mountain bike and now I bought a road bike. And I've just been really going across the bridges here or everywhere
Really?
because now they have trails on the bridges. Like I went to
Oh,
Richmond
so it's not
and I went
dangerous at
across the
all.
Richmond Bridge to San Rafael, and um, I went to Treasure Island, and
Okay.
it's been just a lot of fun. And just having a nice bike it's been really nice. It's just I've never had a nice bike, a really nice bike that really shifts and all this stuff
Yeah, it
really
makes a
well.
difference.
Because when I go on the train, I usually use my old beater bike that's like 40 years old because
So
you
check
know
out. So my daughter, she gets me a bicycle, right?
yeah.
It was made in the 60s
Yes.
in Amsterdam.
Damn.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like a collector's item bicycle, and it's all steel, so it's like freaking heavy.
Yes. But Sacramento.
And um and it's one speed, there's no gears,
Okay.
right? And it's got pedal brakes, friction brakes, and it's a lot of fun to ride, but it's also a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. But talk about a beater up. So I try to take good care of it because it really truly is a collector item bicycle. I forget the name. It's like Locomotive or something. I think is the name of the company that built it.
Well, here's my
They're still around, but this was built back in the 60s in Amsterdam.
Here's my
So,
take on it. If you want to do more biking, if you ever think about it that way,
yeah,
then you can always get yourself another bike just for that.
absolutely. Absolutely. But I figure as long as I've got a bike that works,
Yep.
I'm not, I don't, because there's one thing about me is that I do not like spending money. I don't like
Okay.
it. So I don't. Uh, yeah. Low impact is for your age is good. It's actually good for any age. Swimming is probably the best low impact exercise you can do. But absolutely low impact it helps with your ankles and your knees and your spine actually because of the compression. Yeah. Public transportation is no bueno. Sitting with nuts half the time waiting for stops. I'll just pedal away. Well,
You know,
I
you
live
know, I
downtown, and I don't know. I think Berkeley, especially when you get down into telegraph areas and stuff like that, I find it entertaining, and I'm a people watcher. So all the different personalities, um, I I thoroughly enjoy them. Now, maybe for a guy, it's different. Than if I was like someone who like a female, maybe, and I don't mean to be sexist, but I know a lot of like I don't mind walking by myself at night, but a lot of people they don't like to walk at night because they're a little bit tentative about maybe being accosted or something.
did you know that I'm not admitted to pools?
You're not what?
Yeah, I don't go to pools because they don't let me swim there. Because you know how there's the mask deniers, the QAnon guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a swimming trunk denier.
Oh, okay.
I'm a
So
Q swim on. I Q swim on.
I can see why they wouldn't let you swim in the
Yeah, so
swimming pool.
they don't let me swim because I'm a swimming trunk denier.
Yeah, well,
So it's just basically the same as a mask
so it
denier,
makes the world go round.
I guess.
Although it's not, when you take your trunks off, it's more shocking than when you take your mask off.
I don't take them off. I just don't have them on.
Oh, so you don't have to worry about it.
I don't
Oh,
have to worry
see, you don't
about
have to
that.
worry about taking it off if you don't have them on.
Yeah, absolutely not.
There
There's
you
nothing.
go.
I'm not offending anyone because I start out already as such. So there's no.
Well, we were born that
I
way,
don't want to
right?
get up right now, but
Well, we were all born swimming suit deniers, swimming trunk deniers,
this is my house. I can walk around my house however I want to, you know?
and no one will be turned to stone. That's correct.
That's funny, right?
It is kind of funny.
Anyway, it's just a joke. But
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at now. Before we look at this video, now the music is all yours, right?
which one we clip you're playing? Yeah, I assume yes. The ones I sent you, yes.
Yes.
Except the
Okay,
last one, there's one that has some samples that I use other people's.
and that's the ASMR one.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you have a style that you would call this
Well,
music?
I so there's two things. One is what you aspire to, and the other one is what you really are. So
Okay.
I noticed one thing about music is, although I like to listen to certain type of music, that doesn't mean necessarily I make that type of music.
Okay.
And so it's mostly electronic, and I would say electronic / dark wave type of
Okay.
music.
And just so for our listeners, it might be a little bit loud. If it is, just you know what to do. All right,
Okay.
and we'll talk about this when we get to the other side. So let's take a look at this video.
Dream with me, running around dream.
Well, that was cool.
Sweet. That wasn't very loud at all. That was so smooth.
That was
Sail.
nice, huh?
Some
Yeah.
buttery stuff.
Hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. That was very
totally
professional. Was that professional of me? I'm not sure.
absolutely.
Well, it was polite to move the microphone away.
Absolutely. That was best. I think that was best streamer etiquette.
It probably, yeah. I should write a book on streamer etiquette, and it'll be the first chapter will be on sneezing.
Yeah, that would be one. The kind of headline of the chapter would be like bodily functions.
Bodily
Okay.
functions. Yeah. Oh gosh, that would be weird, couldn't it? Yeah. So back to the video. Now the vocals that's you also.
Yes.
You do the whole. Now, do you play an instrument or do you use that all? Is it completely synthesized music?
So I do. I mostly use synthesizers, except that I do have a guitar, and I'm not very good at guitar because I don't practice very much. So what I do is I play it usually slower than it actually is.
Oh,
Then
okay.
add it. And so those are the two types I do, but most of it is really electronic synthesizers, and then I also do samples, but not as much. But I do want to get into that actually a little bit more again. So meaning
Okay.
I take samples and I smash them around and make something out of it.
Make something out of it.
Yeah, so that's the
So
story.
let us. What does this do? Okay. So let's take a look at Derek here. So let me just ask you another question. So you have a drummer. Where did you find the drummer for the video?
I believe I found a drummer from some clip and I cut him out of that clip because the background was one color.
Mm.
And so that made it easier to extract it.
Well, it's nice to have the drummer, not just Freddie. It gives us more to look at. So that's a
Yeah, exactly.
great addition. So let's go ahead and take a look at Derek here, and get Derek in action. You're a crazy man. You know that, right?
That drummer is actually I looked for some goth clothes on the internet, and
Okay.
I found that he was one of the models for goth clothing, and
Really?
so I cut him out, and then that's why he's such a bad drummer. So
Ruben said it was hypnotic.
yeah, thank you, Ruben.
So, for those of you that are here with us tonight, let's see who do you prefer? Who prefers Freddie and who prefers Derek? Let's just see what put it in the comments. Is it um and that way, I mean, because they need to know too, because they've got this feud thing going on. And this way we can give them a little feedback,
Yeah,
because
I
it's
think
different. The music style was very different.
absolutely.
The presentation, I mean, Derek was all over the place.
He's also a little more dark. I think there's some haunted past.
Oh yeah, could be.
I think that's part of the issue that we're trying to excavate, so to speak. And it's you know
Get a little bit of backstory.
there you go.
Don't add to the fuel. Oh, a little fire is good for the soul. Faith
There you
says
go. Freddie's got the
Freddie's
vote.
song. Faith likes Freddie's song better. Okay,
Yeah, there you go. That's
there we
totally
go.
understandable.
She's the only one that's given us any feedback so far. So Freddie's one. It's Freddie 1, Derek 0.
Yeah.
um, that's awesome. And do you have more songs in the works?
Yeah, I mean, I have more songs, but actually, it's more like I wanted to use some that have some video in it. Um, yeah, I know.
It's amazing to watch the show, um, and realize that these are animated characters, and trying to, in my mind, I'm like, how in the world are they getting the mouths to open and shut in some very close to the rhythm of speech? Also, they're moving around. Um, Now, when you see his head detaches, which is very disturbing. Um, but very fun at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't possible before, but now you have all these programs that can basically sync your lips. So that's one of the biggest problems I had prior. Is like I had to literally make every vowel,
Mm,
and I had to basically program is maybe the wrong word, but I had to arrange it like you arrange numbers, order of
okay,
numbers. And it's just got to the point where, but now there's programs that do that automatically. Like you can make your dog talk, right?
sure,
You
sure,
know, so it's basically kind of the same thing,
same kind of a
but you
thing.
have control over how it looks like a little bit more, and you can make it so that it looks like the character that you want, which I appreciate
So it's
because
able to map with the camera. The camera maps your mouth, and they're able to
it does.
translate that onto the screen.
Yes, it
That's pretty
does. It
cool.
maps that,
So you
and
must have a very powerful computer.
well, I mean, Ruben has the same program on his computer. My computer is just, it's just a Mac, a nice one, but it's not a extremely powerful one. And that's actually one of the things we struggle with sometimes, is because when we have multiple things going on, um, it once in a while goes into its knees, because also the software we use,
Um,
OBS, I'm actually using that one right now
are you using
currently,
OBS? Okay,
is sometimes it uses a lot of resources, and so once in a while you get some problems. But
right.
it's actually cool that you can do that. I mean, Ruben is somewhere in a different town than I am, and we can still create something together live. It's pretty amazing,
It
right?
is very amazing, and I have to admit that I find it very fun. Also, it's
Yeah,
very fun. It's very fun.
doing something together is always cool.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And you guys have known each other, for decades.
I think
Um,
I know you actually longer than Ruben, but not by
yeah, I
much.
think so, but not by much.
Yep, that's
Not
true.
not by much. Yeah,
30 years. I mean, I don't know.
not by
Face that
much.
shit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It seems cool, to at least stay in touch with some people over a long time,
It
and or
is.
reconnect, and it's just a wonderful thing.
It is. It is a wonderful thing. Um, yeah, and so I'm happy that you guys are doing it. So there's another clip that I think we will take a look at, and it's about ASMR. And for the followers of Welcome to My Brain, we're still waiting for the ASMR challenge.
I know.
So hopefully that'll come about soon. Do you want to explain ASMR real briefly for our viewers?
Yes, ASMR is autonomous sensory meridian response, which really is a big word, and I don't know. Um, is a tinkling sensation that usually moves from the head down the back of the neck to the spine. It's and that's usually induced by some noises and overlap sometimes with your hairs sticking up, which I think is called frisson.
Hmm.
So I mean, a lot, it's obviously been around, but it's kind of an interesting thing. And once in a while, when we go on Twitch, because on Twitch that's where we are, um, it's kind of cool to explore. It's cool to look what people do, and it does have an element sometimes of, it does have an element sometimes of a little bit of I'm gonna say some ladies not wearing very much, which is not really what it should be about, some of the
Right.
Twitch community, but it gets a little bit in the way. Um, but a lot of it is still really based on making these sounds, and there's special microphones for it now. There's special devices for it now, and a lot of people listen to it.
Hmm.
It's relaxing to a lot of people.
And there's a lot. If you go on YouTube and you type in ASMR, you'll find many, many, many videos. This particular one has had the sound replaced with other music, right?
Yes, and
So
it's
it's
not
not the
all my
actual
music, by the
sound.
way.
So we're going to see a lot of things, but we're not going to actually hear the sounds that we would if we were watching and listening to the actual ASMR video. But
Yes,
this is a sample of some of the things that you would see. So this is. Do you remember how long this was? This is a longer one, right? How long is this one?
2 minutes or so.
A couple of minutes. Oh, it's only a couple of minutes. No, let's watch the whole thing.
Never had the forbidden fruit. Never drank from the fountain of youth. Ooh, what a day, what a life. Ooh, what a day, what a life. Never care what the wise men say. All those rules were for someone else. Ooh, what a day, what a life. What a day, what a life. I wanna ride through the world, through the winds, past the few losses. So I wanna live my life. I wanna live my life. I learned how to speak words of honesty. Learn the language of myself again. Say again. Ooh, what a day, what a life. Ooh, what a day, what a life. I wanna ride through the winds, past the few losses. So I wanna live my life. I wanna
There
Wow,
it goes.
that was pretty cool.
I know. It's
And the
just kind of
music was
cut of all the different like ASMR things I found at the time.
and it was very soothing. The music was soothing, and the visual was somewhat soothing also.
I
You know,
know. That's the thing about ASMR. There's a true benefit to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, we weren't listening to the sounds, but even the visuals, some of it, I definitely, you can get into it. I can see how it connects.
Sure. There's the one where they had the little they're like little scales. I don't know what you call them.
Yeah, they're
And
like
she was
moving
simply flipping
around.
them over, right? So that was
Yeah.
really not a auditory ASMR at all. It was more of a visual.
Yes.
And it's just very, very fun to watch. Victor says, I've just been listening to 80s music for the last decade. It's easy to get a poverty music fix with 80s. I don't know what that means.
That's a good one.
But
Yeah.
80s for me that I somehow I skipped the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of 80s bands. 60s and 70s, yeah, that was my era basically. In the 80s, I don't know who was in the 80s. I don't know who was in the 80s. And now I don't even know, it's like the Oscars, I don't know who they are. The Emmys, I don't know who they are. Music awards, I don't know who they are. So I just give up. I'll stick with Led Zeppelin.
Dang. Okay. Yeah. No. It's. I try to. I mean, you can't follow everything, but I think there's some things I follow that I like. Some music, um, like the shoegaze stuff that we've talked about before,
Hmm. Hmm.
and some dark wave and stuff. I don't try really to try to follow some particular popular thing. And there's always new bands. There's always people making music that like the type of music that I like, and I find them on Bandcamp or I
Okay.
find them on some groups in Facebook. So that's always good.
And you happen to be on Bandcamp also.
Yes, I am.
Champagne Music Box. Um, yeah, it's fun. It's music that that I can listen to. I mean, because it's just basically music. There's no words. Um, and I can do other things while I'm listening to it. I
Yeah.
love it. It's not exactly background music, but it's kind of background music for
No, I
me.
get it. Yeah, it's half like almost like a noise collage a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. So I remember, I don't know, months ago when we did the podcast, you mentioned something called shoegaze, and somehow I um I connected your music with shoegaze, but it's not
Now there's some
exactly.
elements of it. Anything that has a little bit more of a droney feel to it, that
Yeah.
could be. But a lot of it really means basically you have a boatload of reverb on your guitar,
Oh,
and the sounds swirl on through the room, and there's a lot of times there's a lot of distortion on it, and it just kind of fills the room, and it becomes at some point, sometimes for some people it kind of mushes together but in a cool way, and that's they call it shoegaze because people used to stare at their
they
shoes
stare at their
when they play it,
shoes.
because there's
Yeah.
not really that deep trying to immediate connect with the vocals on some level, right? With the
Yeah.
person you're in a dream world, that sense.
Yeah. And people can search for that too. You can search for shoegaze on YouTube or Pandora or Spotify or whatever you listen to. And I know you have a a video queued up, but we only have a few minutes left. And I was wondering,
Hmm.
excuse me, you have also prepared a live performance for us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, forgot about that.
No, I don't. I may be old. I only forget things I want to forget. This I remember. Um, are you up for it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Then is there a name to this song?
My favorite Sandy.
My favorite Sandy. Okay. Here we go. Let me make you full screen, brother. It's all you. Oh, I didn't do it. I know how to do it. Do I know how to do it? There you do
I
it.
know how to do it.
I got you.
Yeah. Come on. You can do
gotcha.
it.
Take us to your favorite Sandy.
Oh, yeah.
Make me a sandwich with mustard and cheese. Put on some lettuce, organic it is. I don't need no mayo. It ruins the sandwich for me. Woo! I don't need no mayo. It ruins the sandwich for me. Make me a sandwich. It just seems like the fridge is empty. There's nothing inside except a jar of veggie mayonnaise. Make me a sandwich with mustard and cheese. I know I want it with organic lettuce it is. Don't put no mayo on that. I just can't have it on my sandwich. Oh no, it is free. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was amazing. You know, now I'm hungry for a mustard and cheese sandwich. I'm serious.
It's good, right? I love
Li-
those things. A hero sub, huh? Yeah, I mean, you know,
that's a winner, man. I mean, shoot.
you make a sandwich and you just have it, but
Yeah,
you don't put it. Why did they put so much freaking mayo on that shit? I don't want it squeezing out on the side.
Okay, so this'll gross you out a little bit. My
Okay.
sister used to make mayonnaise sandwiches. Two pieces of white bread and mayonnaise. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm accepting it as a preference if somebody wants it,
Not
but
me.
but I don't
Yeah, she
want it
liked it.
myself.
I guess if she liked it, it's cool. But no, with if mustard and cheese, you don't put mayonnaise in with mustard and cheese. You know, you get your cheddar cheese and your Wonder Bread and your mustard.
But what
and-
about, do you put butter on it or not?
no?
If it's there.
Not, you know what? I will sometimes, like a slice of bologna.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It-
I
it's-
love bologna.
Yeah. There's
I get
nothing
it
wrong
at
with
a store
that.
some. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be like white bread, bologna, cheese, mustard. I mean,
Yes.
that's like the perfect meal right there.
You know,
and-
I follow.
And a beer.
Absolutely.
And you're good.
I mean, cheers to that, young man. I know, I love that. You know, I like Vietnamese sandwiches too.
Vietnamese sandwiches?
That was better than a grilled bologna. That's a good one.
Yeah, it is. That's too
I-
much. That's too much.
No, I mean it's just what it is up. I like Vietnamese sandwiches, but I don't want the mayo on it. I just a little. I mean, I can take mayo, but I just don't want that much of it. Okay, I'm not
True.
asking for it. Okay.
True. Just a brush. Just a little bit.
Oh, yeah. There's a sandwich place. Victor knows a sandwich place. That's okay. When I come out there, I used to go to Sacramento to a sandwich place, but I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, I just can't, it wasn't. It was in
It's okay.
21st Street. We're probably not there anymore. So I guess
Yeah,
I
you
don't.
never know. There's a lot of businesses that have closed during COVID.
You know, today I went downtown Berkeley. That's where I live,
Okay.
and I couldn't believe how many people were out.
It is amazing, isn't it?
Oh my God, it's like before. It's
Well,
before
I
COVID.
just hope that we don't have something like what India's going through. That
I
would be
hope we're okay.
that would be horrible. I think so too. But I just hope people are, using common sense and.
Face condom, you mean?
Well, there are those people that are swimming trouser
I've seen that.
deniers.
Yeah,
So
I know.
you got to watch out for them. They make the best sandwiches because that's all they do.
Yeah, exactly. Specialize on something and be good at it.
Be good at one thing and be the master of it, right?
There's something to be said for that.
There is.
You want to make a piece of furniture, you don't go to the guy that normally makes sandwiches and once in a while makes a piece of furniture.
Exactly. I want my computer fixed, so I'm going to go to the plumber.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, he knows he has a computer, he can fix it for you.
That's too funny. That is too funny. So let's just talk. So your show is it's on Twitter, Twitch rather, right?
Twitch, yes.
Champagne Music Box. And so if you just go to Twitch and you type in Champagne Music Box, it should pull the show up, right?
Absolutely. You type Champagne Music Box into Twitch. You can also I'm on Facebook too, but I think I'm already friends with you guys. But
I prefer it on Twitch myself.
Me too. Honestly, I want to get more followers on Twitch. That's really what I'm trying to get to. That's the reality. I want to get to 50 followers, and I do want to basically so that we can get a little more promoted and have the shows because we enjoy doing it, and yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do, and I think yeah, any follower is nice, and it's even better if you come in and listen in and have some fun, drop some notes and have a laugh,
And who knows, you may find a misconnection.
You might find a misconnection with some guy called Rob. I don't know.
Some guy come Rob, and you got to come watch the show to understand that. So, I invite everyone to tune into, and it's on Wednesday nights at 9.
That's
from
right.
9 to 10 generally, sometimes a little bit later, but not a lot. It's just not much more than an hour.
Yeah, it's slightly over an hour, but I don't want to limit it to exact timing, but at the same time, at some point you run out of juicy details, right?
Juicy details.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, there are some juicy details that come out of that show too.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed Ruben. It's fun hanging out with Ruben, and he always like pokes at me, and it's just kind of an enjoyable interaction. And it's not the same every time. Sometimes you feel a little better afterwards, sometimes worse.
Right.
But it's just you get it all together, you work on it, and I think it's pretty damn cool, man. Let's all meet at the metaverse and yeah,
get crazy.
Do you think it's gonna go away streaming with COVID being over? I don't think so.
You know what? I think some might.
Yeah,
some might. Simply because, I mean, how many? I mean, there's so much stuff that's being streamed right now. There's a lot, and so who knows? Who knows? But I was wondering if maybe I'll put this little bee in your bonnet. Maybe Ul and Ru can make a special video just for this show, and then I'll have both and you and Ruben come on and talk a little bit more about your creative process, maybe some more backstory on the characters. I'd love to know Ru's backstory with the martial artist thing going on there.
Exactly.
What are the backstories of these characters?
Yeah, and I couldn't do it without him. It's one of those
No,
things
it's
where,
definitely not. No, it's
yeah,
both. It's a lot of your chemistry, and so I would love to talk about Welcome to My Brain more in depth, because I think that there's some psychologists that may really be interested in what's going on there.
some some dark hidden secrets,
Yeah, your alter egos are coming through,
which is
and
cool.
yeah. Now, before we go, especially as we're talking about music and such. Now, Amber is your wife,
That's correct.
and she is a musician also.
That's right. She's actually a good musician. So she's really good, classically trained. No, I mean she's good at music theory, and she used to teach cello
No kidding.
when I met her, and she's a guitar player. And she's really into shoegaze, that type of style. I mean, she's do many
Okay.
things, new wave, post punk, but she really is she's really good at it. Yeah, she does DJ as DJ
DJ Password.
password once in a while, and I'll try to get her back on the show again to listen in and poke at us a little bit at the
Well,
end
and
of the
you've
show.
played some of her music on your show
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
so that's cool. And so say hi. I haven't met her yet. I hope to someday. So
Yeah,
say hi for me.
absolutely.
Um, yeah, cool, man. So are there any parting words of wisdom as we wrap this up?
Well, the parting words of wisdom are: live your life while you have it. Don't wait for the Neverland or that thing. So, don't be frivolous, but have some fun as you move along. That's all I can tell you.
There you go. There you go. Thank you, Uli. It's been fun, man. I had a blast.
Me
And
too. Thank you.
we'll be checking. So hang on. So because after the show we'll just wrap up, okay?
Sure.
And until then, thanks to everyone who was with us this evening and to everyone that has stayed with us and watched the recording. And I'll see you again next Thursday night at 7 p.m. Don't know who the guest is going to be, so you'll have to stay tuned for that.